I still remember the day Benjamin asked me to marry him like it was yesterday. "Erica," he said, nervously adjusting his tie, "I want to spend every morning waking up next to you." I smiled then, believing every word. 10 years later, I'm still trying to hold on to that hope. "Coffee's ready," I called, setting the mug down. Benjamin didn't answer right away. I peeked around the corner. He sat at the kitchen table, staring blankly out the window. "Ben?" I tried again, forcing light into my voice. He turned slowly, eyes tired. "Hey, you okay? You seem distant lately," he sighed. "Just tired. Work's been rough." I nodded, trying not to read between the lines. "Anything I can do to help?" "No, really. I'm fine." His voice was flat, like a shield. That night we sat on opposite ends of the couch, the TV humming between us. I broke the silence. "Remember our first apartment? How we'd dance in the kitchen?" Benjamin gave a small laugh. "I thought you'd never ask me to dance again." I smiled, reaching out, but he pulled his hand back. "Ben, Erica, I'm just tired." The word hung heavy. I wanted to scream, to ask what was wrong, but I swallowed it. Maybe it was just stress. Days later, I found myself watching him closely at breakfast. "You're quiet," I said. Spoon paused midway to my mouth. He looked up, eyes avoiding mine. "Just thinking." "About us?" "No. Work. Nothing to worry about." But I could feel the distance growing like a shadow creeping across our life. One evening I tried to bridge the gap. "How was your day?" Benjamin shrugged, eyes glued to his phone. "Same as always." I forced a laugh. "Don't be like that. Talk to me." He sighed again, the weight of unspoken words between us. "I'm fine, Erica, really." "Ben, please. I don't want to lose you." His gaze finally met mine, cold and unreadable. "You're not losing me. Just give me space." Space. The word echoed in my mind long after he'd gone to bed. I lay awake, replaying every conversation, every smile, every touch. When did it all change? Was it me? Was it him? Or something we never saw coming? A week later, I found a receipt. In his jacket. Dinner at a restaurant neither of us knew. I asked him about it. "It was a work thing," he said quickly. "Nothing to worry about." But worry had already taken root in my heart. "Ben, are you seeing someone?" His laugh was hollow. "Don't be ridiculous." Yet I couldn't shake the feeling that something was wrong. Something I couldn't name. One afternoon I caught him staring out the window again, distant as ever. "Tell me what's going on," I pleaded. He finally spoke, voice low. "I'm struggling, Erica, but I don't want to drag you down." "Then talk to me. Please." He looked away. "It's not that simple." That night I lay beside him, reaching for the man I thought I knew. But he pulled away, cold and unreachable. "I love you." I whispered. He didn't answer. The next morning, I found a note on the kitchen counter. "We need to talk." My heart dropped when Benjamin finally sat across from me, his eyes clouded with something I didn't understand. I tried to steady my voice. "What's going on?" He looked at me like I was a stranger. "I don't know how to fix this, Erica." "Fix what?" "Us." I wanted to scream, to beg, but I just nodded, tears burning my eyes. "I thought we were perfect," I said quietly. "We were," he replied. "But sometimes perfect isn't enough." I held on to his hand, desperate. "Then let's fight." He pulled away gently. "I'm not sure I can." That was the first crack in our perfect facade. "Erica, come on, just one drink." It's been ages. Courtney's grin was impossible to resist. I glanced at Benjamin, who nodded stiffly. "Okay, one drink," I said, trying to sound casual. We were at Tyler's place, the old college crew all gathered, laughing like no time had passed. But I could feel the tension buzzing under the surface. Benjamin sat beside me, quiet, watching the room. "Never have I ever," Tyler announced, holding up a bottle. "Let's make this interesting." I swallowed hard. I knew where this was going. The game we used to play where secrets slipped out like whispered confessions. "Never have I ever slept with more than 10 people," Tyler said, grinning at me. My heart thudded. I glanced at Courtney. She shrugged, finger poised. I hesitated, then reluctantly put my finger down. "Okay." Benjamin's head snapped toward me, eyes wide like I'd turned into someone else. "Wait." "What?" he whispered. "Shh," I hissed, panic rising. "It's just a game." But the damage was done. The room grew quiet, eyes on me. Courtney leaned in. "I knew there was more to your story." Benjamin's jaw clenched. "Erica, is this true?" I opened my mouth, but the words caught in my throat. "Never have I ever had a threesome," Tyler said next, smirking. I looked at Benjamin. His face was unreadable. "Just say it," Courtney urged, voice low but sharp. I exhaled slowly. "Yes." Benjamin's hand clenched into a fist on his knee. "Why didn't you ever tell me?" "I didn't think it mattered," I whispered. "It was years ago." He shook his head, disbelief and hurt mixing in his eyes. "Not the point. Why hide it?" Courtney, unable to hold back, started listing things loud enough for everyone to hear. "And the older men, the parties, the one-night stands? Remember the professor you hooked up with for a better grade?" I felt the room spin. My past, the one I'd buried deep, was laid bare. Benjamin stood up abruptly. "This isn't you. Not the woman I married." "I am me," I said, voice cracking. "The same me you said you loved." "Not this version." His voice was cold. The laughter, the teasing, all gone. The night became heavy, suffocating. "Why now?" I demanded. "Why does this matter after all these years?" "Because I thought we were honest." He paced, rubbing his face. "Because I thought I knew you." "I was scared," I said, tears threatening. "Scared you wouldn't accept the real me." He stopped. "Acceptance isn't the issue. Truth is." Courtney crossed her arms. "You kept secrets for 10 years. That's the betrayal." Benjamin looked at me, eyes full of pain. "I feel like a fool." "I never cheated on you," I said quickly, desperate. "Not once." He shook his head. "Physical fidelity isn't the only kind, Erica." The words stung worse than any slap. "I wanted to tell you," I pleaded, "but I didn't know how." Benjamin's shoulders slumped. "Now I don't know who you are." "I'm still me." My voice broke, but different. He looked away. "Then help me," I begged. He laughed bitterly. "I don't know if I can." Silence fell between us, heavy and sharp. "I loved you," I whispered. "I thought so," he replied, voice hollow. Courtney gave me a pitying look. "Maybe you should have been honest from the start." "I thought I was," I said, shaking my head. Benjamin ran a hand through his hair. "Maybe honesty means more than just words." The night stretched on, every second filled with questions I couldn't answer and truths I couldn't hide. "Are you angry?" I asked finally. "Devastated," he said, and confused. "Me too." I wiped a tear. "But I don't want to lose us." He looked at me, searching. "Is there even an us left?" I swallowed the lump in my throat. "I want there to be." Benjamin's eyes softened for a moment. "Then maybe we need to start with honesty." "All of it." I nodded, trembling. "Can you do that?" he asked. "Yes," I whispered. "I'll try." But inside I was scared. Scared that honesty would break us instead of save us. The game was over, but the real battle had just begun. "Ben, can we talk?" I asked, voice trembling as I leaned against the kitchen counter. He barely looked up from his phone. "I'm busy." "It's important." He sighed, putting the phone down but avoiding my eyes. What is it? This. Us. What's happening? He rubbed his forehead. I don't know. Don't know me, Ben. You've been shutting me out for days. He finally met my gaze, eyes tired, distant. I'm trying to figure things out. Figure what? How to make me feel. Like a stranger in my own home? He flinched at my words. I didn't mean to hurt you. But you did. Every night you come home late, you barely speak, and when we're in bed, his face tightened. Erica, it's complicated. Complicated? You mean you're slipping away? I'm stressed. Work. Everything. It's not you. I swallowed. The lump. Then why won't you let me in? He looked away. Because I don't have answers. I paced, desperation rising. We promised honesty. Where is it now? I'm trying. His voice was a whisper. Trying isn't enough. He stood abruptly, pacing. I don't know how to fix this silence. Start by talking to me. He shook his head. It's easier to keep quiet. I wanted to scream, but tears welled instead. Ben, I'm here. Let me help. He looked at me, eyes dark. Help? How? By sharing the burden. Don't shut me out. He hesitated. I'm scared. Scared of what? Being vulnerable. I thought I was strong. You are. But strength isn't hiding. I don't want to lose you. I don't want to lose you either. The room felt smaller with all the words left unspoken. Days passed with us barely touching. Our bedroom was cold, the sheets untouched. One night, I reached for him, hoping for warmth. He pulled away. Not tonight. His words felt like a blade, whispered, What happened to us? He stared at the ceiling. I don't know who we are anymore. My heart shattered. We're still us. We can fight. He closed his eyes. I'm tired, Erica. Exhausted. I bit my lip. So am I. He finally turned to me, voice raw. I love you, but I'm slipping. Hold on, I pleaded. We can get through. This. His hands trembled as he took mine. I'm scared I'm already too far gone. I squeezed tightly. Not while I'm here. But even as I said it, doubt crept in. Late nights he disappeared without a word. Phone calls. I wasn't meant to hear his guarded silence wrapped around me like a storm. One evening I confronted him again. Who were you talking to? Just a friend, he said quickly. Friend or someone else? He avoided my gaze. Erica, please. Please what? Be honest? He swallowed hard. I'm trying. Trying feels like losing. He reached for me, but I pulled away. Can't do this coldness. I'm sorry. Sorry doesn't fix nights alone. His shoulders sagged. I'm broken. I'm broken too. We sat in silence, the space between us growing. I questioned everything. Was love enough? Could we survive this storm? Every glance held pain. Every touch felt distant. I fought to keep us alive, but felt myself fading. One morning I whispered, Do you still want me? His eyes filled with tears. I want the man I used to be. And I want the husband I married. He shook his head slowly. Maybe that man is gone. No, I said firmly. He's still here somewhere. He looked at me, fragile and lost. I'm scared, I admitted. So am I. The silence returned, thick and heavy. But beneath the storm, a fragile hope flickered. We were broken, but maybe not beyond repair. Ben, your ring? Where is it? I asked one morning, noticing his bare finger. He glanced down, caught off guard. I forgot it at work. Forgot? Since when do you forget your wedding ring? He shrugged, avoiding my eyes. I must have taken it off. That night he was late again. The silence between us grew heavier. Who were you talking to on the phone earlier? I pressed. He hesitated. Just a colleague. Why whisper then? He stiffened. It was private. My heart pounded. Something was wrong. Days later, I noticed his phone buzz while he was in the shower. Curiosity gnawed at me. I unlocked it. Messages from a woman named Holly. Had a great time today. Can't wait to see you again. Thinking about you. Thanks for listening. You're a good friend. My hand shook. Ben, who is Holly? I demanded when he came out. He froze. It's not what you think. Not what I think. Texts say otherwise. He ran a hand through his hair. She's just a friend. A friend who sends flirty messages? He sighed. She's someone I talk to about stuff. Stuff? You mean not with me? Erica. It's complicated. Tired of complicated. Want honesty. He looked at me, pained. I'm sorry. Sorry isn't enough. Why hide this? I didn't want to hurt you. But you did. His voice dropped. I feel lost. Lost? I repeated bitterly. We're the ones drowning. Maybe we both are. I shook my head. Tell me, are you cheating? He looked away. No, but I thought about it. Thought about it? How could you? I hate myself for that. I can't believe this. He stepped closer. I never wanted to betray you. Then stop lying. His eyes darkened. You lied too, Erica. I narrowed my eyes. When? When you hid your past. Because I was scared. So was I. The room trembled with unsaid truths. You kept secrets for 10 years. I thought I was protecting us. Protecting us? You built walls instead. Maybe we both did. Do you love her? I blurted. No, he said firmly. But she understands what I'm going through. And what about me? You're still my wife. But not the woman you married? Maybe I never knew her. I am her. Not anymore. Stop running. I'm not. Then prove it. He hesitated, voice low. I don't know how. Then we're done. He flinched. Is that what you want? I want the truth. I'm sorry I failed. Me too. I grabbed my coat. I need space. Take all you need. As I closed the door, I whispered, I don't know if we can fix this. The night swallowed me whole. Are you sure you want to do this? I asked, clutching his suitcase handle. Benjamin nodded, avoiding my eyes. I need space, Erica. Time to think. Space. The word echoed, cold and hollow. How long? I don't know. I felt the air leave my lungs. He kissed my forehead lightly, then turned to the door. Please don't go, I whispered, but he was already gone. The silence hit like a storm. I sank to the couch, hands shaking. Where did we go wrong? I replayed every moment, every smile, every fight, every secret. I called him that night. No answer. Texted, read, but ignored. I was drowning in my own despair. Why are you punishing me? I whispered to the empty phone. The nights stretched endless, spiraled, drinking alone, reckless texts, strangers I barely knew. Why can't I fix this? I asked my reflection, eyes red and raw. Memories flooded back, the first time he smiled at me, our wedding vows, promises made. I clung to them, desperate. But the past felt like a cruel joke. I was losing him. One morning, I left a note, I'm sorry. Weeks passed. His absence grew heavier. I visited Melissa, hoping for answers. Did you expect anything else? She said coldly. You hid everything. I know, I said, voice breaking. But I loved him. Love doesn't erase lies. Her words stabbed deep. I called Benjamin again. Please, I begged. Talk to me. Not now, he replied, voice distant. I begged more, tears falling. I can't keep doing this. I'm trying. Trying isn't enough. He hung up. I felt shattered. Days later, I saw him at the grocery store, with Holly. They laughed. Close and easy. My heart twisted. I wanted to scream, run away, disappear. Instead, I turned and left. Back, home, I cried until my throat burned. How did we become strangers? I whispered. The house was empty without him. Even his scent seemed gone. I walked through rooms searching for pieces of us. "Where are you, Ben?" I pleaded to the walls. I hated myself for hiding truths, for breaking the foundation we built. But could I fix what I broke? I didn't know. One night, I texted him, "I'm sorry. I'm lost without you." His reply came hours later. "I need time." Time felt like a slow death. I questioned everything. My worth, my choices, my future. I wanted to blame him, but the mirror reflected my guilt. Was love enough to survive lies? Could we rebuild from ashes, or was this the end? I screamed into the night. "I'm sorry," I whispered to the darkness. But forgiveness felt far away. I never expected to see Melissa again. Not so soon, not like this. "Erica?" Her voice was cold, but steady. Yeah. Hi." My throat tightened. She studied me, like she was weighing the broken pieces. "Look, I don't want to hurt you," she said, pulling me aside. "But you deserve to know." "Know what?" I forced calm, but my heart slammed against my ribs. She lowered her voice. "Benjamin and Holly, they're engaged." The words hit me like a fist. "Engaged?" Melissa nodded. "And pregnant. Due in January." I felt the world tilt. My hands trembled. "Why didn't you tell me?" I whispered. "Because you're still hurting." She sighed. "But they're serious." I blinked, tears burning. "I saw them once, at the store. They looked happy." Melissa shrugged. "Of course, it's a new start for him." I swallowed the lump. "A new start without me." She looked away. "Maybe it's time for you to start too." I clutched my bag tighter. "How do you move on when your past won't let go?" Melissa softened. "By facing it head on." Easier said than done. She gave me a small smile. "You're stronger than you think." I wanted to believe her. Later, I sat alone, staring at my phone. Benjamin's name blinked on the screen. I wanted to call, to scream, to beg, to know why, but I didn't. Instead, I dialed my therapist. "Hi, Erica." Her voice was warm. "I need help," I said, voice breaking. "I'm here." That night, I dreamed of Benjamin and Holly, laughing, holding hands, a tiny heartbeat growing between them. I woke, heart aching. Could I ever be that happy again? Days later, I stood in front of the mirror. "I'm not just the mistakes I made," I told my reflection. "No more hiding." I sent a message to an old friend. "I'm ready to start over." The words felt heavy but freeing. I wasn't just the woman Benjamin left behind. I was still me, flawed, broken, but fighting. "Tell me about your week," my therapist said gently, eyes kind but steady. I took a deep breath. "It's been hard. But I'm trying." "Trying what?" "To live without the past dragging me down." She nodded. "That's a start," I sighed. "Some days it feels like I'm drowning." "Have you reached out to friends?" "Only a few. I'm scared of judgment." "Honesty is brave, Erica. It's your strongest weapon." I smiled weakly. I used to hide everything. Now I'm learning to say the truth, even if it hurts. That night I swiped through dating apps, fingers trembling. "Tell them the truth," I reminded myself. I sent messages, honest and raw. I need to be upfront. My past isn't perfect, but I'm working on who I am now. Responses varied. Some disappeared. Others said, "Thanks for being honest, but I don't think we're a match." Each rejection stung like a fresh wound, but I refused to lie. One evening, I met David for coffee. "Your honesty is refreshing," he said, eyes warm. "I've been through a lot, I admitted. But I'm trying to grow. He nodded. We all have scars. For the first time in months, I felt seen. Later, I called. Melissa, I'm trying to rebuild, I said. It's scary, but freeing, she smiled. That's good, Erica. I'm not perfect, but I'm learning. I'm proud of you. I hung up, feeling lighter. Some nights I still reach for Benjamin in my mind, but the grip loosens. Becoming me again. The woman who made mistakes, yes, but who also survived. I'm rewriting my story, not as his wife, but as my own person. Hey, did you hear? My neighbor whispered as I grabbed the mail. Benjamin's been a mess lately. I froze. What do you mean? Rumor is Holly's not as perfect as she seems. Some say she's been seeing someone else. I swallowed hard. Part of me wanted to deny it, but a flicker of something warmed inside. Are you sure? I asked. Who knows? But it's hard seeing him like this. He's changed. That night I couldn't sleep. I kept thinking about how the tables had turned. Benjamin, the man who felt betrayed, now broken himself. I remembered his hollow eyes when he accused me, the pain I caused. But now I saw his loneliness mirrored in whispers around town. Do you think karma? I muttered to myself. Not revenge. Never revenge. Just justice. Life balancing its scales. I thought about all I'd lost, the nights alone, the silence. And now, he was living that same emptiness. I called Melissa. Benjamin's struggling, I said quietly. She nodded. Funny how things work out. Do you think he regrets? Maybe, or maybe he's just realizing what he threw away. I sighed. I don't want to hurt him. No, but you deserve peace. That's what I wanted too. Peace. Not bitterness, not revenge, just an end to the chaos. Weeks later, I saw Benjamin at the grocery store. He looked tired, worn. I hesitated, then smiled. He returned it, brief but genuine. No words needed. Sometimes silence speaks louder. I'm healing. I'm learning forgiveness, not for him, but for me. Because holding onto anger only chains you. I'm free now, free to live my truth. And maybe someday, so is he. I stood across the street, watching Benjamin's wedding from a distance. The church doors opened, and he stepped out, smiling wide, holding Holly's hand. She looked radiant, glowing in white, her eyes shining with hope. For a moment I felt the sharp sting of loss, but it quickly softened into something else. Acceptance. Are you okay? My friend whispered, sensing my silence. I am, I replied, my voice steady. It's bittersweet. We watched as the crowd cheered, confetti floating in the air like promises. Benjamin laughed, carefree. So different from the man I once knew. I thought about all we had, the lies, the secrets, the shattered trust, but I also thought about the me who survived it all. Do you ever regret it? My friend asked gently. I paused. I regret the hiding, the silence, but not becoming who I am now. Sounds like you've grown. I have. This, I gestured to the scene, is his story now, and I'm writing mine. The wedding ended, and the guests began to disperse. I turned away. A weight lifted. On the walk home, I replayed the journey, how I hid my past, how he left, how I found myself in the wreckage. I'm not defined by my mistakes, I whispered to myself. I stopped at a park bench, pulling out my phone. I typed a message to an old friend. I'm ready for what's next. I smiled, feeling something new. Hope. A woman passed by, her laughter light, free. For the first time in a long time I felt that too. I still carry scars, sure, but I also carry strength. No more masks, no more running. Just me. Flawed, healing, and moving forward. I sit by the window, the afternoon sun warm on my skin. The quiet feels strange, new, but welcome. I've been thinking a lot lately about who I was, who I am now, and who I want to become. I was afraid, I whispered to myself. Afraid you wouldn't love me if I showed you the truth. But hiding doesn't protect you. It traps you. I made mistakes, big ones. But those mistakes don't define me anymore. I remember the nights spent crying alone, the days pretending everything was okay, the lies I told to keep the peace, to keep us together. Now, I tell myself, honesty is messy, but freeing. I'm still healing, still raw, but I'm learning to love the parts of me I once wanted to hide. Some days, the pain still sneaks in, uninvited. But today, I am stronger than my fears. I pick up my phone and type a message to a new friend. Thank you for seeing me. I smile. For the first time in a long time, I feel seen. Not perfect, just real. I've shed the masks, the silence, the shame. I'm standing in the light, imperfect but whole. This journey isn't over, it's just beginning. And that's okay, because the real me is finally free.